This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Netflix. Go to netflix.com/TYT for your free trial membership.
I'm going to go to Laura Ingraham and Dick Morris talking about how upset they were overall about the lame duck session as well. Let's watch that.
President Obama's legislative accomplishments in the lame duck Congress. Some conservatives think the GOP didn't pick up enough policy wins after the November elections. Me. And did Obama get the better of the Republicans?
I think that it showed some disturbing signs of Republicans selling out. Start with the basic fact that this was not, as he euphemistically described it, a post-election session. It wasn't even what we call a lame duck session. This was a session in which 20% of the congressmen and senators were defeated. They're not supposed to be there. They were repudiated by the voters. And yet they used the intervening last gasps of breath to jam through legislation that a Congress of elected officials would never have supported. Start with that. Had the Republicans simply said, no dice, this is an illegitimate lame duck session of people who are not entitled to vote because they were defeated, and we're not going to pass anything, and we're going to do it on January 2nd, and then we're going to demand spending cuts, which now will have to be fought for in the debt limit ceiling or in the new budget, and in the meantime, the deficit keeps clicking.
He said this is not even a lame duck session, and then he said it's a lame duck session. You know why it's a lame duck session? Because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's a lame duck session. It means the congressional alignment after an election, but before they're sworn in. But they're not entitled to vote, Dick Morris says.
Yeah.
They're delegitimized, not entitled to vote. There's a reason why they meet after the election. I mean, you get elected for 2 years. So according to Dick Morris's arguments, that really you get elected for every 2 years, but you only get 22 months of that 2 years. Mm-hmm. That's it. So what should they do? I mean, I guess they should do nothing. And then why not then have them be allowed to vote on November 6th, I suppose. That would be Dick Morris's argument. The Constitution gets in the way of that. It's actually prescribed.
Right. And by the way, George W. Bush just had a lame duck session where I believe, was that when he didn't pardon Libby, but he commuted his sentence? He certainly pardoned a number of people. He did a number of different acts in his lame duck session. I guess he was. Well,
that's you mean lame duck session of the presidency?
Yeah.
So the president should be able to do anything either
of
by
course.
that logic, right?
Right, obviously.
Nobody should be able to do anything as soon as they're been voted out of office.
He even said at one point in that clip, if these were elected officials, they were elected 2 years ago to serve 2 years.
So 2 years, right? The whole that's the whole point.
He's like they're not supposed to be there.
I mean, the hypocrisy is
are.
overwhelming. I mean, and I'm sure and I'm confident that we won't engage in any hypocrisy like this because, and I mean it. I mean, if the Republican majority in the House is overturned in 2012, which seems incredibly unlikely, but if it is,
you never know, man. There's these huge swings.
Right, and so, or in 2014, whatever. Guess what? They'll be allowed to get through whatever they can get through. That's how it goes. But you know that if that happens, Dick Morris will be encouraging these guys to act on principle. You were there for 2 years, do your jobs.
Oh, as soon as we saw this clip, I told JR, save the clip.
Right, yeah,
because he's a guarantee they will violate this. And Dick Morris, in 2 or 4 year time, will be on Fox News telling people, hey, you know what? You got to make sure and push through as much legislation as you can during the lame duck session because you are supposed to be there for those 2 months. Get a load of Netflix. They deliver the movie to your house, no late charges, free shipping.
You can watch thousands of movies or TV shows straight on your PC or on your television through a gaming console.
Netflix.com/TYT. Free trial membership. You get Netflix all over you.